Hi everyone. Everyone can hear me all right as well? Yep, good. All right, thank you very much. So thank you for attending the Amazon Seller Summit. On our first session today, we'll be going over a little bit of Amazon global selling and a little bit about the market in the US and how you can reach over millions of customers in the US. So just a quick disclaimer that this is obviously information that's proprietary to the Amazon, it's strictly confidential. But going a little bit more into who I am as well. So I'm Coelewij and I lead the NSR business in Singapore, so the new seller recruitment business. I've been in Amazon for about 11 years, working on different categories and different regions. So I'm really honored to be able to present today and give you a little bit of information with us. So let's go into detail about cross-border e-commerce, and I'll go a little bit into the basics. So I think we're all quite familiar with what domestic e-commerce is, right? So you have a Singapore seller who's selling directly to a Singaporean customer and we deliver directly here. Now cross-border e-commerce is obviously the inverse. So we have international customers and international sellers and there's cross-border operations involved there. Now there are two ways that we can look at this. And the first way is the traditional pattern. The traditional pattern goes through the traditional route, so usually through a factory, manufacturer, goes through a distributor. There's quite a few steps before it actually ends up to the end customer. Whereas in the e-commerce setting, we tend to, or we try to, eliminate or streamline the complexities involved that go from directly to your manufacturer, directly to the customer. So, excuse me. The traditional B2B export model, it's very offline eccentric. It's very focused on the offline. Usually involve quite a few distributors, middlemen in the process. And what usually this happens is that you could not have full flexibility and control of what is your supply, what is your prices. Whereas from an e-commerce perspective, where it's very online centric obviously, you are more the owner of this product. You have more agility, more flexibility in choosing the selection, choosing the prices, choosing the amount of stock that is there. But most importantly, is you have access to the customers. And this is one of the key details that we'll be going through throughout this project, throughout this presentation. So there's obviously immense opportunities to work on e-commerce. But there are definitely some key considerations. There's about 6 key considerations that we need to work on. Now, the first one is obviously building your storefront. So do customers see you? Do customers see who you are? Do they know? Do you have your own website? Do you have someone else building your own website? And these are one of the most, probably the first step in the process in global selling. The second one is the need for logistic solutions. This is both for the first mile and the last mile. What that means is how are you bringing your products to the US? Is it through shipments? Is it through air freight or whatever? And finally, the last mile is how are you sending your stock from the US directly to the customers? The third process is ensuring that you meet the needs of the products. And this is a two-part thing. This is both doing your due diligence and researching the products. What works in Singapore might not work in the US, and that works both ways. So it's testing it out, trying it out. And then finally, also understanding there are regulations. There are different compliance metrics. So what you need, for example, FDA requirements, is something that you need to do the research on. Then the fourth aspect is obviously there's different currencies involved, and I think this is quite clear. I think everyone is also quite familiar with this. And then finally, the need to handle operations. The operations involved here includes sending the stock, doing the returns, customer service. These are all key points that you need to take into consideration. The last point, if not one of the most important, and at least I have a lot of fun with this one, is building that brand. So what are you doing to improve sale conversions? What are you doing to improve the conversion rates of whatever metrics that you're looking at? And that's a key detail that we're going to be going into detail, and there's a further other sessions that will also go into detail on this. So why Amazon Global Selling? And how can we support and how can we help? So the first and probably most obvious is the customer acquisition. You can leverage about 300 million customers worldwide. You can build your Amazon storefront without any real knowledge of IT infrastructure. And of course, you don't need to find the customers from scratch. They're already there. Then finally, it's the cross-border preparations. We can cover the first mile logistics. with Amazon Global Logistics, or you can use Amazon server provider networks of logistics and supply chains. And actually, some of them are here today, so I definitely invite you to go speak to them. We make available customer data. And the customer data allows you to also do the research. I believe it was also referred to in our previous keynote speech. You can use this data to understand what is the selection that is missing. What are the customers actually looking for? Are customers looking for products that are not existent? Are there customers searching for products that are similar to your products, but maybe not the same color, maybe a different color, maybe a different size, maybe a different bundle? These are all key details that will help you understand how to amplify your selection. Again, as I just mentioned, our service provider network offers not only the logistics solutions, there's also compliance, trademark agreements, legal facts, who are all going to be extremely helpful. And again, they're here, so please reach out to them. Then, of course, you have the paying infrastructure, in which Amazon already has built the infrastructure, so you don't have to go through the whole process, and there's no extra additional fees when we're doing and paying both to the customers and to yourself. Finally, you can leave the day-to-day operations to us, and this is particular with Fulfilled by Amazon. So all the returns, liquidation, or any of these issues, we could definitely take care of them. The returns, the refunds, and customer service is all going to be in the custom language as well. And the reason why you want to leave this day-to-day operations to us is so that you can focus on the key things that you need to grow your brand. So Amazon does offer a myriad of tools that will help both protect and help grow your brand and business. I would definitely take advantage as well of our programs that we have here. So we have Seller University and our service provider network, who are all at the back over there, who are there to assist and to provide different courses and different materials that will help you from building your products, listing, tax, and legal guidances as well. So I would like to do a little bit of a step back on this, right? And how we can really use the customer acquisition and the leverage that we have here. So as I mentioned before, there's about 300 million customers, about 200 million Prime members, and across 20 different countries. So all this is ready for you. All you have to do is really open the account, and that is immediately accessible to you. You can leave, again, as I mentioned, the day-to-day operations to us. We have about 400 fulfillment centers that spread around 200 different countries. So we'll pick, pack, and ship the products directly to the customer. We take care of the returns. We take care of the customer service 24/7 in local languages. These are all costs that in a traditional business are heavy overhead costs. These are fixed costs, which we are already taking care of. And one thing that, especially in Singapore, that we're proud of is the flexibility and the agility of our brand owners. So why should you sell on Amazon.com? I'll go a little bit in numbers here. And it's really the trajectory of the US e-commerce revenue business. So it's forecasted to grow within the next 4 years about 490 billion. We're supposed to cross the 1 trillion threshold already next year. So the opportunity is there. And I'll go a little bit even more into detail on the types of sellers and maybe anticipate some of the questions that you might already have. So I definitely invite you guys to stay for the next session, which will cover FBA, and it will go a lot more into detail. I think I've mentioned it quite a few times, Fulfilled by Amazon, which is the FBA is the acronym for Fulfilled by Amazon. Well, we'll go into detail on how to scale your business. And the scaling is probably the most important part, or probably where, if you are a beginner seller, that's probably where you're starting at. You have your product, you have your details, you want to start growing, you maybe have sold a couple of things, now you want to scale your business. And with Fulfilled by Amazon, that's how you can do it. You can reach, again, the 300 million customers. All the Prime members there, they get the benefit of having a 2 free-day delivery with the contiguous states, and they receive all the returns, and they're going to receive all the benefits. You can save time on the operations, again, so that you can focus on building your brand. And of course, the Prime eligibility gives you that visibility and gives you access to some of the Tier 1 events, which I'll go into detail. So all this detail, why leave it to us? Why leave the operations to us? And that's, again, it leaves you more time to focus on the last part, which is growing your business. So for brand owners, you may build your brand with something called Amazon Brand Registry, which not only offers brand protection, but also brand marketing tools to help you establish your brand presence. So there was an internal study conducted which showed that brand owners had about 1.5 times faster sales than the average seller due to the brand awareness, which led to repeat purchases. The second aspect that we have here is Amazon advertising. And this feature solutions allows you to target keywords, your products, and even the audience. And this helps you improve your product discoverability. So Amazon reaches, just to give you another statistic, reaches about 96% of all Americans between 25 and 54 category. So you're basically, with your Amazon, you have the world at your fingertips, really. And then finally, not to mention our Tier 1 events, which are designed to help Amazon boost their sales. And what's happening behind the scenes is that Amazon is engaging on mass marketing. We're sending mass email, and our focus there is to increase that visibility and increase that sales traffic. And so that you get the traffic and you get to benefit from it. So again, another statistic, and as you guys probably are aware of, Amazon always leads with statistics and data. But during 2022, the Prime Day Singapore sellers saw around 30% year-on-year growth on Amazon.com. So what else are we doing? And what is another reason for it? Now, we all like a good bargain, and especially in Singapore, I think we all like a nice little discount. I can already see the phones coming up, taking a picture of this, where we're offering a fee waiver. So for the first 6 months, there will be a 0 fee, except for the first month, which is $1. So that's about $240 savings in this case. Now, this is really to help you minimize the risks that you have in starting. This is just a small little way to start and pick up and start building your brand. Now, we do actually have a registration booth on the right over there. So definitely, there's no cost attached to it, so I would definitely invite you to start doing it now. Other things that we're doing to try and help ease the costs and minimize the risk or mitigate the risks in starting with Amazon, in case you're kind of thinking, should I do it, should I not do it? It's something called the new seller incentive programs. The first incentive is for it, again, fulfilled by Amazon. And this is where your monthly storages, liquidation, returns are free for the eligible new to FBA products. Another one is for Amazon identified brand owners through brand registry, get a 5% bonus of up to $1 million in sales. So it's about 50,000 in bonuses there. And then finally, for brand owners, we have about $200 Vine credit so that you can start and use the Vine program. And then we'll go a little bit more into detail into this. And Vine program is obviously where you can send out your products to get some reviews and get some people start building the traffic up to your product page. So I think enough about me and enough about me explaining the sellers, but I think it's also a good idea to hear it directly from the sellers and our ambassadors that are here. And in this case, the answer, or the first question that we usually get is the US too crowded for new sellers? And the answer is no. So we constantly have new emerging brands that continue to have success on Amazon. Let's take Crystal, who I've actually spoken to quite a few times, and who's our Amazon Global Selling Ambassador. She created not one, but 2 brands on Amazon.com. The first one being Abound Lifestyle, which is a home decor brand that hit 7-digit sales in the first year. And Farah, which is an LED mask brand that just started in 2022. Some sellers choose the US because there's restrictions in the domestic seller base. With Baby K, which is a modern parenting and baby brand that sells toys, play mats, and baby accessories, look to the US to expand the available customer pool. And they hit 7-digit sales already in their second year. Some sellers like Naochi Matcha choose the US not only because of the massive size of the US, enables a niche brand like them who sells ceremonial grade matcha powder, and it's to reach a stable size just on Amazon.com alone. And secondly, the English language and culture barriers are less, and that was just an easier market to penetrate. And with 6 figures of sales a month and exporting tons of matcha globally, they took a US first approach to gain a sizable base for the niche product in order to expand elsewhere. Now, another niche brand who's selling pet feed or Supreme Grubs, who's selling black soldier fly larvae, found the operations outsourcing to Amazon in the US, with fulfillment by Amazon especially empowering, as he did not have to be physically be present there and could be based in Singapore or anywhere else, something like a digital nomad. And the next question that we get is Amazon.com just only for the big brands? Like, what about the small and medium sellers? And the answer here is always no. And I think we've seen other press releases, we've seen other indications and articles about this. And as we can see here, SMBs, or small medium businesses on Amazon, account for more than 60% of our total sales. So it's a big chunk. And then finally, another small independent brand that became the #1 lip scrub on Amazon.com. So again, 300 million customers everywhere, and it became #1 lip scrub on Amazon.com, is Handmade Heroes. So Lindsay launched on Amazon.com in 2015, and in 2016, their vegan, halal-friendly lip scrub already rose to the top 10 lip scrubs on Amazon.com, which is very, very quick. Lindsay attributes this to the fact that Amazon Global Selling levels the playing field for relatively unknown brands to kind of pick up and go through. So we obviously don't favor sellers. I mean, this is often reflected in the various fees and the various ways that we conduct our business. And then finally, from being a digital nomad and working across the globe to having more time with family and being your own boss, these are just some of the things that being an e-commerce business owner can also provide. So let me go through a couple of steps on selling on Amazon, okay? And these are just, again, just the basics to walk through it, just in case you haven't seen it already.